Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Enthador. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Dwarf Fortress version 0.42, and we are the fortress of Sandpillar. And the forgotten beast, Radir, has come, a great feathered slug. It has wings, and it undulates rhythmically. Its emerald feathers are fluffed out. Beware its deadly dust. And you might be thinking, Marcus, what are you going to do about this? Well, nothing, really. I'm not going to do anything. Why? Because I don't have my death room set up, but also, forgotten beasts with dust are very, very dangerous. That dust causes syndromes. Now, the syndrome could be very simple. It could cause the dwarf to throw up a little bit and be fine, but it could also cause the dwarf to die. And it could also have a long incubation time, such that by the time you even realize it's happening, your entire fortress has been infected and everyone is dead. And I just don't want to deal with that. So eventually, at some point in the future, I may decide to risk it and build a death room and have him come in there and try to shoot him with arrows. The problem with that is that even if you manage to kill it without getting any of your dwarves infected, there is still stuff all over the ground that you could potentially get infected by. Although there are DF hack commands that will solve that problem. That might be a little cheap, I don't know. There are in-game ways of solving it by having little troughs of water that your dwarves can walk through so they get the syndrome-bearing dust off their boots and such. But I don't know. I mean, I already have it set up in DF hack that every season it cleans contaminants anyway, although I'm thinking that might be bugged because it hasn't been doing a very good job of it, to be perfectly honest. Regardless, for right now, we are going to ignore Radir, but we could take a look at him anyway. Or her. I am not entirely sure what gender Radir is, or even where Radir is. I mean, this is definitely cavern level number 1, but that doesn't mean too much because there's a giant pit between cavern level number 1 and cavern level number 2. So they might as well be the same cavern level. Oh, I'm mining out some marble. This is the top level of the marble, and I'm trying to get as much of it as I possibly can for steel production. Alright, let's find this sucker. Oh, and Stagar the goat, unfortunately, went berserk trying to create an item which we did not have, again, bones for. And we have plenty of bones. I even went out and murdered some camels and got bones from them, but apparently it's either bugged or I'm doing something wrong. But, you know, we'll do what needs doing. Alright, where is this thing? There we go. Radir, forgotten beast. Uninvited guest. Well, yeah, so were my bards, but they're still here, aren't they? Okay, there's Radir. One thing about text will be text is it screws up the search function, where it's just all weird. But anyways, let's look at Radir. I think we've already mostly seen what we need to see about him, but what I want... Oh, I lost him again. There he is. Alright, K. And that is the letter K. Yeah, nothing I don't already know. Its emerald feathers are fluffed out. Alright, so he's just going to hang out here. I just don't care too much, but what is this? Oh, I guess it's just text will be text, floor. It had a weird color scheme to it. But anyways, before we go further, let's profile a dwarf. First thing I want to say, though, is we do have one new dwarf in the fortress. Say hello to Dimitri Halfbeard. And the reason why we only have one is because one of our children grew up into an adult. And that adult is Dimitri Halfbeard. So there we go. Cool, right? So let's see here. 111. I like it. Who is it? Urist McSkeleton. And that's by Skeleton Man. So definitely we have a pattern emerging here. So let's take a look at Urist McSkeleton. Urist McSkeleton. Alright, let's view you. You have a room. That's great. Relationships? Your husband, Doom Guy, is in the fortress, along with Id, your dwarven child. your niece Augustus, who is actually our legendary mason, quite good at masoning. And that's it. Otherwise, you just have friends and such. People do get so carried away sometime, but not I. Not I, says Urus McSkeleton. Urus McSkeleton is very formal and decides to refer to himself, or herself, I should say, in the formal tense of I instead of me. That's quite interesting, but within the last season, she was bored after being unable to practice her craft for too long. She felt lonely after being away from family. That's all usual stuff. She was interested near a fine door. She was interested after watching a performance. She was delighted after watching a performance. She sometimes feels sad at being separated from loved ones. And that's pretty much it, over and over and over again. In fact, most of these dwarven feelings for all of these dwarves have to do with performances, probably because the majority of my dwarves spend all their time in the tavern. Let's see, she is a dubious worshipper of Lemul Treasure Pearl, and we're going to talk a bit more later about our gods because I have something cool to show you. She is 36 years old. She likes rhyolite, brass, white opal, giant bush tit bone, the words of the sable truth, the sound of the bewildering embraces, and the sight of the umber velvet. When possible, she prefers to consume hungry head. I've never seen that before. That is awesome. I didn't even know you can consume those. Parsnip plants, and sandpillar cider. She absolutely detests fire snakes. Alright, cool. That is Urus McSkeleton. Alright, so let's talk about some things here. So as you can see, I'm building some new traps here. I'm trying to cover this whole area, but that's not what's intriguing and new. What's intriguing and new is as we go down. So we're going down, 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 down. I was a little upset that when the enemies fell the 11 Z levels to my pit, in some cases they weren't even injured. So I decided, let's make the pit deeper. But I didn't want to make the entire pit deeper, so I just made the part that they are likely to fall down deeper. So I made it deeper by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 additional Z levels. I couldn't go any further than that because, as you can see, we are now crossing upon the entrance to the caverns. So had I gone down one more Z level, I would have opened up into the caverns, which I do not want to do. Because there's a giant feathered slug down there that's spraying a bunch of dust everywhere. So I'm filling the bottom of this pit with spikes, both iron and glass, and I'm getting rid of the remaining rocks that are in there. So hopefully this now extended fall, and based on my mathematical calculations, this is pretty much the area where the majority of the goblins are falling. This fall will hopefully kill more things. But I even have another plan. What I'd like to do here at the bottom is I'd like to, at some point, get rid of these staircases that go up and instead have it so that nobody can get out of here. And then one level up, I'd like to engrave or carve some fortifications so that my Marks dwarves can take pot shots at the creatures in here with complete immunity. And then perhaps underneath that, a drawbridge, which will lead to a room where my melee dwarves can finish off any stragglers. That way we don't have healthy goblins climbing down into the pit, we only have injured goblins falling down, and we can take them out at our leisure. I thought that was particularly devious and awesome. I'm trying very hard to kill these bunnies, but we're just not slaughtering them fast enough. What else is new? We are running out of pigtails seeds. I suppose that turning pigtails into thread ruins the seeds. Brewing, I do not think, does. So if you'd like to perpetuate seeds, and someone in the comments was commenting a while back about that, you want to do things that maintain the seeds, which I believe includes brewing, and it apparently seems like working them into thread does not do so because I've been getting error messages about the lack of pigtail seeds. This is way too many damn bards. Like, I haven't even accepted this many. I've accepted 4 bards into my fortress, I'm pretty sure. Yep, 4. So why there's like 800, I don't know. There should be 4, and then my own guy, which I believe is what, Ukor? Yeah, Ukor Steelclaw. And thankfully, we are not being invaded right now, so we actually managed to get some merchants. We missed all of our merchants last year. We missed the elves in the spring. So finally, we are now in the summer, and we have humans. So I'm really happy about that. And I was able to buy a lot of alcohol and wood, especially, and other random cool things. What else? That's really about it. There's our poor friend going mad here. Sorry about that, Stegar the goat. Okay, so here's something interesting. I've engraved this. It's kind of anti-symmetrical, and I'm sorry, but since this is a built wall, I cannot engrave it. So I've engraved these 3 walls, and I'm not going to show you all the engravings because I basically just had them engraved at random. I let the engraver decide what they wanted to do. At some point, I'll look at them and see if there's anything cool. But what's notable is that the 4 pillars in the middle I did with a bit more foresight. I forced the engravers to only engrave things that have to do with Sandpillar. So we have, for example, this masterpiece by Dwarf Comic, which is Confused Lancer, the Dwarf, and Ilral Squeezing Chambers, the Dwarf. And Ilral is striking down Uzul. So I don't know who exactly is doing this, but either one of our mercenary dwarves is killing one of the dwarves who are fighting for the mangy spider, or vice versa. Then we have numerous ones of these. This is an exceptionally designed image by Dwarf Comic of the foundation of the oaken flags by the Flag of Striking in the spring of 150. We have a bunch of those. There's another one. And I don't know why he did this, but Dwarf Comic decided to do an image of groundhogs, which has nothing to do with Sandpillar. He disobeyed my orders, and I'm not happy about that. Okay, here's an exceptionally designed image of Mans Holtkrantz glazed syrups, also by Dwarf Comic. And Mans is surrounded by the dwarves, and this is the election of Mans to the position of mayor in early 153. Then we have Eshka Catchmops the human and Columrent the giant dingo by Rectangle. And I don't know what this has to do with Sandpillar. I guess they don't always do exactly what you ask, because in this case, the giant dingo is killing someone long before Sandpillar even was founded. Okay, another foundation of Sandpillar. Another foundation of Sandpillar. Another foundation of Sandpillar. An exceptionally designed image of a single cut gem. So I guess, yeah, there must be either a bug where it doesn't do what you say, or it's just a crapshoot. They're likely to do what you say, but they may decide not to. But here's the most interesting one of all of them. So this is relevant to our situation. This is an image of Smith Masters Jr., Glaze Kindle, and Nagerzung Path Poison, the Frightful Urn of Malice, the Goblin. And this is by King Tip. And it is a showcase of the Goblin striking down Smith Masters Jr. And of course, Smith Masters Jr. was the only casualty in the giant siege that wasn't a mercenary. So there you go. This is the showcase of that. And one last thing I want to show you is that I finally found out what our image is, and that is table cut gems. That is the symbol of the Flag of Striking, which is our local government. And there's a number of different images of that. So another thing I want to show you is we have another dead dwarf, unfortunately. And that dead dwarf is Brolock Alemaster. And this is a well-crafted Silstone memorial to Brolock Alemaster. The slab reads, in memory of Brolock, born 103, struck down by the human Zydel Bristled Zenith, the Rosy Blossom, in the rampage of the human blah 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 in Sandpillar in the year 154, devoted mother and wife. And I also have one here for our was it a Werebull? I think it was a Werebull. This is in memory of Zydel Spishabata Tawak Ishibi, which, as we know from the previous slab, actually is like the rose something or whatever. I wish it would say, but it doesn't. He went missing in the year 154, He was the lawgiver of the empires of Confederacy for like 40 years. He was the slayer of Daseb, Tempest Grotto, loving father and husband, but also a werewolf, so we killed him. But I think it's fantastic that Toady is doing all these cool things like shrines and libraries and taverns. But how much time? It's been a year. How much time does it take to go in here and fix the slabs so they correctly state the cause and manner of death of enemies? It doesn't seem like something to me that would take a long time, but I don't know. I'm not a programmer, but why wouldn't you be able to do that? I mean, in a game whose sole, well, not sole, but one of its main catch points is that it creates this impressive world with all this history, why would you not want a little bit more of that history to be recorded? I don't know. Next, however, I mentioned earlier that we were going to be speaking about our gods. Well, as you recall, our shrine here has a statue of Birdie Bot in the middle, and it is a non-denominational shrine, and people can come here for any reason. In fact, I saw Lysedwin in here earlier. He was meditating on stone. I guess he was just thinking about stone and what stone means to him. And actually what I mean to say is her, because Lysedwin is a female. So I went and looked at the first 20 or so of our dwarves in the units list, and I looked to see what gods they worshipped. So here is a statue of Athser, the blanketed cover. And Athser is a deity of victory, war, fortresses, and jewels. And this statue is made by JJJ Danny. And then we have a statue of Langud by Augustus. Langud is the deity of weather and nature. And these are all deities just of our civilization. And then here is Doran. Doran is the deity of the mountains, depicted as a female dwarf by Augustus. And then we have Id, the amethyst mine. This is an exceptionally designed image of Id by Augustus, and Id is the deity of metals and minerals. Then we have Limul Treasure Pearl. Limul Treasure Pearl is the deity of wealth, and this is depicted by JJJ Danny. Now remember, this civilization's gods are all dwarves, or at least they're depicted as dwarves, unlike that other civilization where there was like was it a alpaca or some kind of god that wasn't a dwarf. And finally we have a masterful siltstone statue of Anne Prestige Petal, created by Augustus, and Anne is the deity of persuasion and poetry. So this might not be all of the gods of our civilization, but it's at least the main ones, the ones that our first 20 dwarves have worshipped. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 6 of them. So there's that. Maybe when I learn of more gods of our civilization, then I will create statues for them as well. Yeah, our refuse pit is filling up here. And that's really all I've got. I'm really excited about the deeper pit. I'm hoping it will lead to much carnage and disaster. I haven't gone any deeper. I know I'm supposed to find the magma at some point. In fact, we do have a few minutes left in this episode, and I don't have much else to show you, so we might as well just do that. How about that? Where? There you are. Okay. All right. So let's do D, and let's do an up, down, stair. And eventually we are going to hit the third cavern layer as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And right now let's go with just regular mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So we'll see. Hopefully we will hit a part of the cavern that we can just go straight down and we don't have to build another hallway, because remember, it takes the dwarf as much time and effort to go down 1Z level as it takes to go across 1Z level. So for example, if you build a corridor that's 15 squares, that's the equivalent of going down 15 floors. So I'd really prefer not to do that. Colin Cole just became a furnace operator. That's cool. Alright, my dwarves aren't even... They aren't even getting started here. Why? This is an up-down stairway. It should be just fine. Oh, because they're still digging out the marble, of course. Well, we can wait for that to happen. Marble, as we've mentioned before, is a flux stone, which means that we can use it to make steel. We don't even need magma at this point, because we can use the coal that we have amassed. And there's probably a lot more coal as well, besides what we've already dug out. And I'm going to use my clear-cut mining strategy for the marble, and that is we do a whole box and we just have these little 5 square pillars to hold up the ceiling. This is different from my typical mining pattern for ores and such, where I do long lines every 11 or so squares, because obviously I don't want all this basic stone. What in the hell was that? That is the noise the stray bunny made? I don't think so. Oh, this must be the Forgotten Beast. Yeah, he is caught in a cloud of his own extract. Oh man, am I gonna have to listen to this for a long time? Okay, let's see here. A smear of the giant... Yeah, let's look at it. Can I look at it? I guess I can't. Well, whatever. Yeah, so, for example, walking from here to here is like the equivalent of going 20 floors down, which is why in Anvil Quested I had a staircase that no matter what went straight down, because it just makes more sense from a logistical standpoint. However, obviously we couldn't do that in this instance, because not only was it over the giant pit that connects 2 different cavern layers, but it also ended up in water, which we couldn't dig through anyway. Alright, so we have Tetrahedrite. That is awesome. Tetrahedrite is the ore of copper and silver. So that brings us pretty much to everything we need for military here. We have silver for warhammers and... well, crossbows, I guess, would be better in silver. And bolts as well. Why are all these masterworks of Gendrick being lost? Oh, because they were with the merchants, which is stupid. I mean, if we sell his masterworks to the merchants, he should be thrilled about that. Alright, let's... apparently we didn't hit the 3rd cavern layer, so let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Let's get digging, guys. Okay, it looks like these last couple floors aren't very mineral-y. Quartzite, huh? Yeah, I'm not seeing much. It looks like we're completely avoiding the 3rd cavern layer. It must be here somewhere. But it looks like our staircase is going down in a place where it isn't. Alright, we're out of the quartzite and we're back to gneiss and hornblende. And there we go. Semi-molten stone. Or semi-molten rock, I should say. Okay. So that's great. All the problems that I was expecting didn't come to pass. We don't have to worry about dealing with the 3rd cavern layer at this point. But we do have to worry about finding the magma. So, let's see here. Alright, so we're going to have to figure something else out here. Let's go downstairs here. And then here we'll go up downstairs. We're just going to see here. Oh, I paused. The semi-molten stone is actually between the magma and the, well, you know, the stuff beneath the semi-molten stone that we discovered in Anvil Quested, but just in case you're one of the few people who have yet to know what I'm talking about, that's part of that. Alright, so nothing, huh? That's really kind of sucky. Alright, let's just put out some feelers. Okay. Interesting. Let's hotkey this. Let's put this as Shift F1. And we're going to zoom. And we're going to call this Magma? Question mark? That way we can come back. Alright, so the bottom of our pit has been completely removed of rocks. And it also has spikes. Let's see what we got here. And we're forging some iron spikes and glass spikes to fill up the rest of it. So we're good there. Let's go Shift F1. Sweet. I'm looking for the error message that says, "You have felt hot stone," which is the most annoying thing in the world when you're trying to build up your magma floor. Did it happen? Yep. Alright, warm stone has been located. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So let's, now, magma could theoretically be, like, right here. So we're not going to dig out that stone. That is a foolish and amateur thing to do. So what we're actually going to do is, now that we know where the warm stone is, we're going to go up a level. And we're going to go try to find it again. Let's see, it was... Yep, so this should get us close. And we do this until it no longer says there's warm stone, and then we channel down until we find it. And then once we discover even a little teeny bit of magma, we should discover a huge portion of the sea, and at that point we can determine where we want to build our forges. And that long corridor is killing me. It's making the dwarves take a long time. Oh good, our menacing spikes are masterpieces now. Okay. I hate how it moves around. That must be another text will be text thing. Okay. So wow, that's just so funny. We managed to just completely avoid the magma. Let's go up here. Alright, boys. Let's find this. Okay. Cool. Where are you? There we go. Alright. So we appear to be getting there. Actually, the magma appears to be widening as we go up. Oh, look at that! We have some more here, and here. Okay, cool. So actually, let's see what's here. And okay, warm stone there. So let's try this. Searching for magma is a very delicate process. Oh good, we're finally getting rid of those bunnies. By the way, look at how thrilled everyone is to be at Sandpillar. They're drunk on victory, and probably drunk on alcohol as well. Okay, cool. So, I was going to say, we don't want to channel this out, because then if it is magma, it'll all flood into here, which is definitely not what we want to do. So instead, we're going to channel, or we'll do a a down stair, actually. How about here? Yeah, that seems about right. Let's see what that shows us. Interesting. So let's do a up-down stair here. And that should be the end of it. That should show us the magma. Yep. Excellent. You've discovered a great magma sea. It is great indeed. Look at that. Look at that, folks. We just barely avoided the magma. That is amazing. Look at that. That is so cool. All right. So here's the great magma sea. And this looks like the perfect place to have our fortress, I'm not fortress, our magma level. So it looks like this is going to be it. This is going to be the floor. And this floor will be part of it as well. We might have our storage on this floor, and then this floor will be our actual forges and whatnot. And I'm not going to do this on camera because it would drive you insane, because literally every single tile that we dig out, the game is going to pause. It's going to recenter like it's been doing off somewhere in the darkness, and I'm going to have to find it again and redesignate all the stones. It's seriously the most heartbreaking and terrible part of the game. And I know, I get it, you know, it's supposed to keep you from killing yourself, but once I know the magma is here, and I know it's not here, I should be able to command it in some way to not give me that stupid error message every time I dig something out. But it's not going to. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Marcus Aurelius. I would like to thank you very much for joining me here at Sandpillar. Have a good one.